You know that you're supposed to save for retirement. It's blasted on the news and business shows all day. It's all over the internet. You hear it from your friends, you hear it from your coworkers, but you don't know how to do it. Don't worry, because in this video, I promise to give you the most comprehensive video out on YouTube right now regarding how you can use a Roth IRA retirement account with Fidelity to achieve your retirement goals and dreams, and more importantly, how you can become a tax-free millionaire in the future. Let's do it. Hey guys, before we get started, make sure to hit that subscribe button below the video to ensure you do not miss any future videos I post. Make sure to leave a comment below saying you subscribed, and I promise to respond personally to your comment. Alright guys, you know how much I hate wasting your time, so let's go ahead and jump right into the content here. Let's talk a little bit about the problem with saving for retirement. You know, anybody can save money for retirement by just putting away money over time into your savings account. The problem is your money does not get invested and it doesn't grow much above and beyond the amount you actually contribute. Additionally, you don't get any additional tax benefits for saving money in your bank savings account. Every cent that is earned in interest is taxed by the government. Of course, you could always open up an investment account with Fidelity, a taxable brokerage account to save for your retirement goals. And that way you could actually invest your money into investments like mutual funds or index funds, individual stocks and bonds, or other types of investments which would definitely grow your money, but you still don't get any tax benefits. Your money would be taxed whenever you earn interest, earn dividends, or sell an investment for a gain. That's why you should invest for retirement in a retirement account, which might lead you, the average Joe, to a very real question. What exactly is a retirement account? So a retirement account is a special type of account you can set up with an investment company that gives you two really important things. Number one, it gives you special tax benefits. We'll talk more about that in a second. And it gives you the ability to invest your money in investments such as stocks or bonds or index funds that's going to help you grow your money over time. The best way to think about a retirement account is to think of a house. Now, when you put your money inside the house, you automatically gain certain benefits, mainly tax benefits. Putting your money into a retirement account, though, doesn't mean you've invested the money. It's like living in a house with no furniture. That sucks. The investments you buy with your money, once the money is in the special account, is like putting furniture in your house. We'll talk more about the investments in just a second. So there are multiple types of retirement accounts you could choose, and depending on your goals and your own unique situation, one might be better than the other. So let's talk about what those accounts are. This video is really truly about the Roth IRA account, but to really fundamentally understand a Roth IRA, you really need to understand what a traditional IRA account is. Both traditional IRA accounts and Roth IRA accounts come with tax benefits, but the benefit is different. With a traditional IRA, the money you contribute to the IRA account is considered pre-tax money, meaning that you do not get taxed on that money right now. The way that works around tax time is you get a document from Fidelity or any investment company you choose, which documents how much money you've contributed during the previous year to the retirement account. That amount of money is then deducted from your taxable income. What that all means is that the benefit you receive from a traditional IRA account is received right now in the form of lower taxes and the ability for your money to grow tax deferred. And when I say tax deferred, what I mean is not taxed right now, it will be taxed later. Once you are ready to take money out of your IRA account when you retire, all of the money you take out is going to be taxed like normal. Now, how is a Roth IRA different than a traditional IRA account? Well, the difference is when you get the benefit. With a Roth IRA account, the money that you put into that account is taxed right now, meaning after tax dollars. Meaning there's no benefit right now. There's no tax deduction. You don't pay lower taxes. You pay taxes on your contributions. But the magic happens later, because with a Roth IRA, just like the traditional IRA account, the Roth IRA, the money inside of the account grows without being taxed along the way. However, with a Roth IRA account, once you're ready to pull the money out of the account when you retire, every single dollar that comes out of that account is tax, wait for it, free. Just like the traditional IRA account, the Roth IRA, the money inside of the account grows without being taxed along the way. However, with a Roth IRA account, once you're ready to pull the money out of the account when you retire, every single dollar that comes out of that account is tax, wait for it, tax-free. The benefit for the Roth IRA account is received later when you retire. No tax deduction right now, but tax-free income for the rest of your life when you retire. I am a huge fan of the Roth IRA account. I love the idea of knowing that in the future one day, all of my income is going to be tax-free. I have no idea what tax policy is going to be like next year or the year after that, and I definitely have zero clue on what taxes are going to look like in 30 years. But I do know what my tax rate is right now, and I can realize those taxes right now by just contributing money to my Roth IRA, and then know that later on down the road, no matter what's going on with taxes, no matter what's going on with our country, my income will be tax-free. Hopefully that gets you really excited and pumped up because, hey, nobody loves taxes. One additional benefit that you do not get with a traditional IRA account is all of the money you contribute to your Roth IRA. Because it's already been taxed, you can take that money out whenever you want to. If you have an emergency and you need to pull out some of your contributions, not the money that's grown, the growth, but the money you've contributed to the account. If you need to pull that out for any reason, you can do that. Tax-free, penalty-free. That's a huge benefit for Roth IRA accounts. But make sure you know the rules though. Let's talk about the rules and the eligibility for a Roth IRA account. So first off, there's no age limit. You can open this account whenever you want to, but you must have employment compensation. You have to be working and earning money. So one of the first important things you need to understand is the IRS caps how much money you can contribute to both a traditional IRA and a Roth IRA account, and those amounts are exactly the same. For both 2020 and 2021, the maximum you can contribute is $6,000 a year. Now, if you happen to be age 50 or older, they have what's called a catch-up provision, meaning you can contribute an additional $1,000 every year. Now, you also need to understand that there are income limitations for how much money you can contribute, or if you're eligible at all to contribute to a Roth IRA account. For 2021, it depends on your filing status and your modified adjusted gross income off of your previous year's tax return, also known as the MAGI. And just so you know, the modified adjusted gross income, or MAGI, is essentially your taxable income, all of your income sources added together before you take any tax credits and with just a few extra deductions or adjustments there. So if you're filing single, then your modified adjusted gross income can be no more than $125,000 if you want to contribute the maximum $6,000. If you make between $125,000 and $140,000, then you can partially contribute to a Roth IRA, but if you make more than $140,000, you're not eligible. The limits are higher for married filing jointly. You, as a household, can make no more than $198,000, and between $198,000 and $208,000, you can make a partial contribution, and then you are not eligible above and beyond a household income of $208,000. You can see here though, for married filing separately, it is not advantageous if you want to contribute to a Roth IRA or a traditional IRA account here. You're not eligible for the maximum contribution. You can make a partial contribution if your adjusted gross income is less than $10,000, and if you make more than $10,000, you are not eligible. Additionally, here with Fidelity, you can see here that there are no minimum investment requirements. And all of Fidelity's investments, especially their indexed mutual funds, which is ones that I'm a big fan of for the beginner investor out there for getting started with investing, no minimums. You can start with as little as $5. Now, one thing to also understand between a traditional IRA and a Roth IRA, with the traditional IRA, since no taxes were paid up front, the IRS has some rules in place to make sure that they get their tax money at some point in life. As a result, the IRS will force you as an investor to start taking money out of your account once you reach the age of 70 and a half. I'm not sure what the whole and a half is. Why can't they just say 70 or 71? 70 and a half. The year that you turn 70 and a half, you have to take out a specific amount of money from the account. You have to realize some of those taxes and pay the government. And that amount will increase every single year. Now, with a Roth IRA account, you've already paid taxes, though they don't care when you take money out. You never have to take money out of this account for your entire life. And you can pass this Roth IRA account down to your heirs if you want to. When you factor that benefit in, and the fact that you can always take your contributions out of the account if you need to, if circumstances warrant, and the fact that your income one day in the future when you start taking money out will be tax-free. I mean, how can you not get on board with this account? So you believe in the Fidelity Roth IRA account and you want to get started, but you're thinking to yourself, what can I really accomplish for my retirement, for my goals, by investing just the maximum amount of money into a Roth IRA account, let's say over 30 years? Well, guess what? I can tell you, based approximately on what's happened in the past, what's likely to happen in the future. Let's take a look into my Excel spreadsheet. Okay, so here are my assumptions. We will contribute the maximum we can every single year into a Fidelity Roth IRA account. And we're gonna invest that money into the S&P 500, specifically the S&P 500 Fidelity Index Fund. Ticker symbol for that indexed mutual fund is FXAIX. Going back to 1985 and looking at the price change every single month on average, the price goes up for this index fund by about 0.81%. Annually, a long-term average of 9.72%. Now we know that that's not real life, that market's gonna go up and down, but over the long term, that the average is 0.81% up. We just can't model that. We have to just assume a straight line growth of 0.81%. Additionally, we're gonna assume that we reinvest all of our dividends. This specific index fund pays a quarterly dividend, and I assumed based on what we see in Seeking Alpha here, let me just show you that here, the 5-year growth rate on the dividend, 5.81%. We assumed that growth rate for the dividend, and we're assuming that we reinvest that dividend every time we receive it for more income and more shares of the fund. Additionally, what has happened historically with the Roth IRA and the traditional IRA is that they increase the annual amount that you can contribute about every 5 years or so by about $500. So we're assuming that every 5 years, the maximum will go up by $500 because that's what's happened in the past. So as you can see here, 2021 through 2025, 500, then 541.67, then 583, then 625, 666, etc., all the way through 2050. 30 years from today, if you started contributing the maximum you could, divide it out over 12 equal months into a Roth IRA account, into the S&P 500 as your lone investment, what's possible? So if you did this for 30 years consistently, then at the end of 2050, as you can see here, you would have $1.39 million. $1.4 million. And if you weren't touching the money, you would have $6,839.34 in dividends being reinvested back into the account every single year. And if you didn't need this money, if for some reason you had an inheritance, or maybe you were also investing into your 401k plan at work, and you didn't need to touch this money in the Roth IRA, you don't have to touch it. You could continue to let it grow and not even touch it, and it would grow, and the dividends would continue to be reinvested, and you would just have this massive amount of money that you could then pass on to your kids, or potentially just start to do some awesome things with your money, because it's all tax-free at that point. You could take cruises every month, or you could bless people around you by paying off their debt, or whatever your fancy is. You could do that because you'd have so many options available. And that's what retirement's about: freedom and options. Now, there are a lot of different investment strategies you can take on through Fidelity, and I actually did a video recently about 6 different Fidelity index fund strategies for the average Joe out there. So I'm not going to replicate that information in this video. What I will do is redirect you to that video right now here. I'm going to link for it right up here, and in the description below will also be in the end screen here, so you can transition naturally to that if you're looking to open a Fidelity Roth IRA account and start investing today. That's what I wanted to show you guys with this video here. So the Fidelity Roth IRA account is a massive opportunity for you as the average Joe out there, as long as you meet the income requirements, to put money away right now and let it grow tax-free, and then take that money out one day tax-free. Plus, if you're interested in learning about how you can make tax-free income and make that income grow for you as a dividend portfolio, that's when things get really interesting. If you know anything about my channel, I talk a lot about dividend stock investing as well. That's all I got for you guys in this video. Hopefully you learned a lot. If you have any questions or concerns, please make sure to leave your 2 cents in the comments below. What other topics and content do you want to see from me regarding Fidelity, regarding investing, regarding dividend stocks? I definitely want to make videos you guys want to watch. That's all I got for you guys today. Have a great rest of your day, and please continue to stay healthy, both physically and financially. Have a good one.